Good morning, Hillgrovians. This is Mr. Samir, the ICT manager for Hillgrove Secondary School. Now, for the past few days, you may have heard me making announcements over the PA system, right, with regards to things such as e-learning, iPad learning, as well as the PDLP rollout, which is today. We are excited, as all of you are right now, as you are about to unbox and set up your iPads. Of course, before we go through all that unboxing and setting up, we're going to be doing a little bit of recap, a little bit of preparation, and what you need to know when it comes to getting your PDLP devices. Now, the first thing that all of you need to know when we talk about your iPad devices, the daily e-routines. Now, Mrs. Chan spoke earlier about this, and I'm going to show it again on the screen. All right. Now, as you can see, these are the daily e-routines, and there should be a poster that is also pasted in your classroom. Look out for the poster. It is in A2 size, right? Do always refer back to the daily e-routines when you're unsure of what you need to do. And as a Hillgrovian, you need to abide and look at these values and try your best to emulate it. All right, you can come and see myself, all right, to understand better of the daily e-routines. Before you start with unboxing of the items, I need to go through with you the Hillgrove Nest portal. Now, this portal is very important for all of you, and all of you should know how to maneuver your way or navigate your way to this portal. The main thing that all of you need to do is you need to ensure that you go to the school website first. So let me bring that up. Right now, when you're on the school website, on the top menu, all right, mouse over, okay, over partnerships, okay, and you scroll down and click on links. Now you can do this with your mobile devices. You can also do this with computers and also with your iPads in the future. Okay, when you're on the links page, okay, take note, if you look below, we have this column called quick links, right? And as you can see, we have got student quick links and we have got staff quick links. Now your focus is mainly on student quick links. And the first one that I've already clicked for you or already set up for you is the Hillgrove Nest portal. Now this portal is exclusively for Hillgrovians, for all you students to go to whenever you're encountering problems with any IT related issues. So if I click on the Hillgrove Nest portal, right, it will direct you to the portal page as well. Right, as you can see, there are a number of things, a number of links that are available as your guidance. Right, you can scroll all the way to the top, and under the student accounts, we have 3 particular accounts that most of you will be using. The first one, when I click on it, is your IAMS or Windows account. All right, so this refers to your computer account, okay, which is your NRIC number, as you can see, your username, okay, and the default password, if you have not changed it, it has always been set to HGSS 2021 with a capital H. Now, if any of you cannot connect to the school's Wi-Fi, which is the SWN, all right, here you go, as you can scroll down here. If any of you can't connect to the school Wi-Fi due to the following reasons, that means it shows here that the firewall authentication failed. If you can't connect to it or you are locked out of your computer Windows account, all you need to do is just click on the link that is already located here. So you can see if I can just highlight this, all right, you can click this link and you will be prompted for a password reset. So apart from the QR codes that you can locate at level 1 outside the general office to scan, you can also go to the school website and just click this link and you will be prompted to reset your password. Okay, same thing, there's also another link down here in case if you forget to click on the one on top. And the one below, it also allows you to reset your computer password. The next one, all right, if you scroll on the top under student accounts, is the student icon. Okay, now a number of you are having problems with student icon. All right, take note that your student icon, you can only use certain browsers. Okay, for those of you who are using iPhones, you can use the Safari browser. For those of you using Android phones, unfortunately for now, you'll need to download Firefox, right? And you can use that browser instead. Okay, now as you can see on the link over here, all right, on the website, okay, the login portal is provided for you. You can actually click on it right here to go to the portal. And when you log in, your username, which your teachers should have already shared with you, okay, should be your full name at students.edu.sg. Okay, make sure you write the username correctly. Okay, and the password is similar to your IAMS or Windows account. All right, so if you have forgotten or you're locked out from your IAMS account password, you will need to reset it. Okay, you can use the same request to reset, and we will change it back to the default password. I've also provided for you down here in the Nest portal to scroll. If you're unsure of how to onboard, there is the video that is located here, okay, on this side, to play it, and you can watch the onboarding process. Okay, of course, I've also listed down the operating systems and or browsers that you can use during this period of time. The latest account that all Hillgrovians are given are known as the Managed Apple ID. Now, I don't know whether you can see this over here. Let me try to switch my screen. Now over here, I have one of the iPads. All right. Now in every iPad that you'll be issued with today, you're going to get about 32 gigabytes of hard disk space. Now that might not be a lot to some of you. All right, because we might be in the process of purchasing applications for your iPads. Some of you may be downloading and putting in your own apps. All right, since there is not enough space, the Apple side have actually allowed to provision all students with managed Apple ID. So on the screen over here, it shows you what your Apple ID is. Now please take note, this Apple ID, okay, over here coincides with your SLS ID. So as you can see down here under user ID, when you log in, you'll be using the SLS ID in the front, which is the 5 letters of your full name and the last 5 characters of your NRIC or FIN number. So this your SLS ID at appleid.hillgrovesec.moe.edu.sg. Now it is long, but once you put it in the iCloud to sign into Apple or to sign into your iPad, all right, you should only need to do this once. Okay, the password will be sent to your student icon email address. All right, in the future, we will be having another session where there'll be another video explaining more about managed Apple IDs. Okay, but to be clear, what does Apple ID do? Apple ID will entitle all students in Hillgrove Secondary School to have 200 gigabytes of iCloud storage. So as shown on the website over here, once you sign in, you will be given 200 gigabytes of iCloud storage on your iPad. Now, how does this work? Let me show you a little demo over here. If we can just run it up, bring up the demo. Here we go. Now, I have the iPad over here. Okay, if let's say I open up the iPad, okay, in order to access your or to log into the Apple ID, you need to go to your settings. So the settings is the little cog that is shown, all right, on the screen. Okay, you can see it on my bottom left bottom corner. All right, I'm just going to click on settings. Okay, and now you're going to click on sign in to your iPad. Okay, so when I click on that, it will ask you, which is the first option, it will ask you to put in your Apple ID. So let me type in the Apple ID, right, for myself first. All right. Okay. Now, for all of you, it should be your SLS ID at. Now we're going to put in first Apple ID dot hillgrovesec.moe.edu.sg. All right. Now remember, like I mentioned, it may look very long at the moment, but once you put it in, you only need to do this once. I'm going to click on next. They will prompt you for the password. Now the process of setting up your password will be done on a different day. Okay, I will be going through with a in-depth detail of how you can start loading up your Apple IDs as well. All right, But for now, I'm just going to put in the password. Now, once you've placed in the password, just press next. Okay, now what Apple is going to do is they're going to ask you for a two-factor authentication, and all of you need to have this set up. All right, you'll need to have a handphone that can authenticate your Apple ID. So I'm just going to put in my authentication over here. All right, and once you put in the authentication code, right, what will happen is they will do things. Okay, let me just do the settings. They will set up all your iCloud stuff for you, and they will indicate that this account is now logged in with the Apple ID. So now, as you can see, I'm logged in, right? Under the Apple ID, my full name is there. There's a little HGV at the end to indicate that that is my account. For all of you students, it will be your full name, right? And at the end, you should have the year that you enter into the school, right? It will also show you your Apple ID name, okay, the email address that is in full, okay? The important thing is I want all of you, after that, once you want to ensure that you have the correct amount of space, you simply need to click on iCloud. Now, if you scroll down, you'll see the word iCloud. I'm going to click on that. And this is where you will see that under my iCloud storage, I am given 200 GB of space. So this is where all of you will be given the 200 gigs of space, and you can use this to save your work. All right, save all your work that you've been doing in school, save it onto the iCloud, and you can eventually share, collaborate with your teachers, submit to your teachers, share with your friends, and share with your classmates if you want to do collaborative work. Most of your stuff will now be saved on your iCloud, all right, which will free up the iPad space to save applications on them. So even though your iPad has only got 32 gigs of internal storage, right, which you will use to just download the apps from the schools, all right, the 200 gigs of space that is given to all of you, all right, will be used to back up and also store your documents and your work, right? So I hope all of you understand on how to actually connect to the iCloud, right? Now, the next process we're going to be going through a couple of videos that I'm going to be showing all of you, and I'll be giving introductions to what these videos are all about. Okay, students, now with what I've mentioned about the Apple Managed ID, all of you are given 200 gigs of space, right? All of you will then need to understand how you are going to use or how you're going to save your work, right? Or create your work in the iPad itself, all right? So we're going to use a few upcoming videos, all right? And the first video that I'm going to showcase to all of you is how to use the Files app. So watch the video.
Find the right file when you need it. The Files app keeps all of your files from iCloud and other cloud storage services in one handy place. Here's how to use it. When you open the Files app, you might see Recents first. This screen gives you quick access to files you've recently opened. To access all of your files, tap Browse at the bottom of your screen. Let's take a look at Locations in the left sidebar. Locations are cloud storage services like iCloud Drive, where your PDFs, photos, and documents are stored. iCloud Drive will automatically appear in Locations, but you can also add your other cloud services like Google Drive or Dropbox too. To do that, you'll need to download the apps for those services and sign into your account. Look in the description below if you need more help. Once you have these apps downloaded, tap Edit, and you'll see a list of your apps that work with files. Tap the slider next to the cloud service you want to add, and tap Done. To stay organized, you can sort your documents into folders if your cloud service supports them. To create a new folder, select a location. We'll use iCloud Drive. Then swipe down slightly within the app window and tap the folder icon. Now name the folder and tap Done. To add some files to a folder, drag one file, then tap another file to collect it, and drag them into the folder. And you can add a folder to your favorites list by dragging it to the sidebar. Some files might feature a cloud icon, which means that the file is not currently on your device. If you want to access the file for offline use, tap the file. The file will begin to download, and it will open when complete. Go back to the Files app when you're done. Deleted something recently that you actually need? You can recover recently deleted files and folders if your cloud service supports this feature. Just tap Recently Deleted, touch and hold the file or folder you want to retrieve, and tap Recover. And that's the Files app. Now you'll be able to find all your important documents in one place. For more iPad organization tips, subscribe to the Apple Support channel, or click another video to keep watching.
Okay, now all of you have got a good understanding of how to use the Files app and how to save your work, all right, and how to move your stuff in your Files app, all right. The Files app is going to be helpful to keep all your 200 gigs of space inside there, all right. Now the next video is going to be talking about your Apple Pencil, which you should have as well, all right. So for Apple Pencils, all right, how do you actually use the Apple Pencils to write on your iPad? Let's watch the next video.
Now there's no need to put your Apple Pencil away when you want to add a reminder or reply to a message. Here's how you can use your Apple Pencil to write in even more places, starting in iPad OS 14. Your Apple Pencil converts your handwriting to text as you write. This feature is called Scribble, and it works in any text field. Just start writing with your Apple Pencil, and watch your handwriting transform. Here are some helpful Scribble gestures you can try. Touch and hold between two letters with your Apple Pencil to add a space. Then write a new word in the gray text field that appears. Or use the shortcut palette to access actions that are normally found on the keyboard. This changes depending on the app you're using. Need to select a few words to copy or format them? Just circle or draw a line through a word or sentence. Draw a vertical line between two words to create a single word. Or draw a line between letters in a single word to create two words. Scratch out a word or phrase to delete it. To use Scribble in Notes, tap the Handwriting Tools icon with your Apple Pencil, and then tap the Scribble tool. This will change your handwriting to text as you write, but you can select another tool to keep your handwriting as is. Notes can tell the difference between words and drawings, so you can select handwritten words to use in other places. Just double tap with your finger to highlight a single word. You can also sweep your finger over your writing to select more text, like an entire phrase or paragraph. Want to paste your handwriting as text? Tap your selected words with your finger, and then tap Copy as Text. You can paste in the same app, or switch to a different one. Tap where you want to place the text, then tap Paste, and there it is. Notes recognizes handwritten dates, addresses, phone numbers, and more. Just tap an item to take action, like send an email or view an address in Maps. The shape recognition feature helps fine-tune some of the shapes you draw in Notes with your Apple Pencil. Just draw a shape and hold your Apple Pencil in place to watch your shape become more defined. Now you can draw a nicely rounded circle freehand, a symmetrical star, and other shapes. Nice! Now you're ready to use your Apple Pencil in even more apps on your iPad. Try it out yourself. To learn more about what you can do with your iPad and Apple Pencil, subscribe to the Apple Support channel, or click another video to keep watching.
Okay, now I hope you have a better understanding on how to use your Apple Pencil. The next video will be talking about the handwritten notes. All right, so in a case where your teacher has allowed you to use your iPads and you want to take down notes, all right, quickly take down notes, and how does the iPad recognize your handwriting, all right, using the notes, all right, this is the next video.
Creating notes with your Apple Pencil is as easy as a tap. Here are some helpful tips to use in your next note. First, let's create an instant note. To quickly create a new note, tap the lock screen of your compatible iPad with your Apple Pencil, and then you can start writing. Whatever you write or draw from here will automatically be saved in Notes. If you need help setting up your Apple Pencil and Instant Note, click on the articles in the description below to read more. Now let's check out some tools for customizing your notes. You can change the opacity or thickness of the tool you're using by tapping the pen icon to open the Tools menu, tapping the tool, and either tapping to select a different thickness, or moving the slider to make your markings more or less transparent. To choose a different color, you can tap one of the 5 defaults or tap the color picker on the right to select a different shade. Apple Pencil has some other useful features for iPad and Notes as well. For example, if you make a mistake, just double tap a finger on your Apple Pencil to switch to the eraser. You can also set this gesture to switch to the last tool you used instead of the eraser in Settings. Now let's say you need to find a note you wrote a while back. You can search for it using a word or phrase from that note, even if it's handwritten. To do this, tap the back arrow, then swipe down on the side menu to reveal the search field. Type what you're looking for, and the notes with that search term will show up below. Just tap to open a note, and you can give it a few finishing touches. Looking good! Now you can create colorful, useful notes on your iPad with Apple Pencil. For more helpful iPad tips, subscribe to the Apple Support channel or click a video to keep watching.
One important thing that all of you need to know is how to do marking up, or in short, markup. All right, you can mark up photos, all right, which is actually to draw over photos. You can also mark up over PDF documents, all right, that means writing over PDF documents, and then you can submit your markup drawings or writings or editing to your teachers or save it onto the files directly. So let's take a look at the video on marking up.
Use markup in photos to add fun drawings to your pictures. Here's how. First, select a picture in Photos, then tap Edit. Tap the More button. Tap Markup. Select a tool, then mark up your photo with an Apple Pencil or your finger. Now keep marking up your photo until you're ready to tap Done. A photo finish.
Now, at certain times, all of you may want to learn how to take screenshots, all right? Especially taking screenshots using your iPad so that you can submit those kind of photos to your teachers. So the next video is going to be talking about how to take simple screenshots from your iPad.
Need to save what's on your screen? Taking a screenshot on your iPhone or iPad is as easy as pressing 2 buttons. If you have an iPhone 10 or later, press the side button and the volume up button at the same time, then quickly release both buttons. If you have an iPad with Face ID, press the top button and the volume up button at the same time, then quickly release both buttons. On an iPhone 8 or earlier, or an iPad with Touch ID, press the side button and home button at the same time, then quickly release both buttons. After you take a screenshot, a thumbnail will temporarily appear in the lower left corner of your screen. Swipe left on the thumbnail to dismiss it and automatically save it to Photos, or tap it to edit and share. Now you know how to take a screenshot in a snap. For more iPhone and iPad tips, subscribe to the Apple Support channel or click another video to keep watching now.
All right, now all of you have just gone through the video on how to take screenshots using your iPad. However, some of you may want to take a full page screenshot. That means when you're on Safari, all right, or when you're using the web browser and you are scrolling through lots and lots and lots of text and you want to take a whole screenshot of text into a PDF, all right, how do you do that? This next video is going to explain to all of you how to take full page screenshots using your iPad.
Want to take a full-page screenshot on an iPhone or iPad? Let's do it. In Safari, a document or mail, take a screenshot. Press the top or side button and the volume up button. On a device with a home button, press the top or side button and the home button. Then tap the thumbnail. Tap Full Page. If you'd like to mark up the screenshot, choose a markup tool. Tap the tool again for more options. You can scroll up and down with the slider and mark up the screenshot. When you're finished, tap Share. Then choose how you would like to share your screenshot. Screenshot it all.
Now, a very important function that all of you will be using since you have an iPad that is quite large, all right? An important function that you need to know what to do, how to do is actually drag and drop, all right? Moving from one file to another file, right? Or moving from one place, dragging text from one area and dropping it in another area. So the next video is going to be talking about how do you drag and drop data or information from one application to another application.
With drag and drop on iPad, you can quickly move text, photos, links, and files from one app to another. Here's how. First, we'll drag and drop items between two apps that are on screen at the same time. If you're already in an app, swipe up from the bottom edge of the screen and release your finger when the dock appears. Then touch and hold the second app you want to open and drag it onto the screen. This feature is called Slide Over. Now you can drag and drop items between the two apps. Let's drop some photos into a message. Start by touching and holding a photo. Then drag it slightly and continue holding it while you tap more photos with another finger. You'll notice a badge that shows you how many items you've selected. Now you can drag all of the photos together and drop them into your message. Now let's try a different way to drag and drop items between apps. We're going to drop a contact into Mail, but you can do it across whichever apps you like. First, press and hold to select the contact. Continue holding the contact and quickly swipe up from the bottom of your screen with your other hand to return to the home screen. Then drag the contact to another app and hover over it until it opens. Now you can release your finger to drop it wherever you want it. There it is! You can use drag and drop to quickly send photos, add attachments to emails, copy text, and so much more. Give it a go! For more helpful tips like this, subscribe to the Apple Support channel or click another video to keep watching.
The next one is multitasking. Now, all of you know that the iPad is a really powerful system or a really powerful tablet where you can multitask and you can run multiple apps at one go, right? So this next video is going to be talking a little bit more about how to multitask using the iPad.
With Split View and iPad OS, you can be more productive than ever. Work on two things side by side on your iPad, then quickly switch between projects whenever you need to. In this video, we'll show you how to open multiple windows of the same app, use two apps side by side, and exit Split View. Let's say you're working in Notes, and it would be helpful to look at two notes at the same time. To do this, select a note from the sidebar and drag it to either side of the screen. This is Split View. You can edit each of these notes on their own. Drag the divider to adjust how much space each side takes up. Need to look at another note? Slide one finger up from the bottom edge of the screen until the dock appears, then release. Then tap that same app icon and tap the plus icon in the upper right corner to open another window in a new space. Now you can easily switch between note spaces by swiping along the bottom of the screen or by swiping across the screen with 4 fingers. To see all of your open spaces for this app, slide one finger up from the bottom edge to reveal the dock again, and select the app you'd like to view. This is called App Exposé, which shows all of the spaces where you have open windows for that app. You can also work in 2 different apps side by side. In an app, swipe up to reveal the dock. Touch and hold another app, and drag it upwards. Let's add a photo to Notes. Touch and hold the photo, and drag it into your note. Done! This space will show up in App Exposé for both Notes and Mail. You can exit Split View anytime. Just drag the app divider to either edge of the screen, over the app or space you no longer need to view. Both of these spaces will return to a single full screen. You'll find them in App Exposé or the App Switcher should you need them again. And that's how to use Split View to multitask across apps. For more iPad tips, subscribe to the Apple Support channel or click another video to keep watching.
Okay, students, now I hope you've enjoyed that selection of Apple iPad videos, all right? The next video is going to be talking about the usage of Office 365 or Microsoft Office applications on the iPads. It's just a little brief understanding on the usage of Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, all right? You have OneNote as well as using Outlook, all right? Now, these applications are available for all of your students, and once you have the iPads, don't worry, the applications will be populated into your iPads soon. So let's watch this video.
The apps that matter to most people are still available, which I think should be Excel, Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, and OneNote, and they are available to download for free from the App Store. On iPadOS, Word and PowerPoint are very similar to their web and PC counterparts. With that I mean, when you start the application, you can notice the similarity right away. Starting from being able to choose from multiple templates for you to create a new document with, or you can just start a blank document. If you want to open an existing document, it allows you to choose from your iPad's local storage, or you can just pick one from your OneDrive account. When you have a document open and you get to the application, you have access to all the basic formatting and typing features that are available on full version of Word and PowerPoint. You can also format the text based on predefined categories such as headings, quotes, and intense references. Something that I wasn't expecting is that you can insert equations, but for some reason you cannot insert symbols. Instead, there's a feature to insert icons, which is way better than symbols in my opinion. It doesn't require you to look through 15,000 things that are placed in 100 different font families like you have to on the desktop version of these applications. You can also insert shapes, lines, and tables from the Insert tab. It allows you to format these objects to an extent, but it is a very limited feature as you cannot even change the thickness of the outline on a shape or a table. Speaking of the table functionality, you can easily create a fully functional table with Word on iPadOS. Although your table starts with only 3 rows and 3 columns, you can resize the add more columns or rows, change the table style, select from one of the templates available through the drop-down menu. Almost everything's available for you to use here. On PowerPoint, along with the text formatting and shape features that are available on Word, you also get access to some PowerPoint specific features. For instance, you can insert videos in your slides. You have access to the new slide design idea feature. This feature allows you to format your slides based on the content of your slide. It is a pretty neat feature if you're running low on time and you want to format your slides automatically. Obviously, you have the ability to add transitions and animations to your slides and its contents. As far as I can tell, this is a complete port of all the available options from the PC version of PowerPoint. What is not available are some advanced features that most people probably don't even use. For instance, you don't have access to Slide Master. Your ability to export your slide in multiple formats is very limited. Other than being able to save your native PPTX PowerPoint file, you can only export the file as a PDF or an ODP document. I know most people won't care about that. The only reason I care about that is because I use PowerPoint to create animations for my YouTube videos. So at least on Word and PowerPoint, there's no way to create charts and graphs on the iPad. For that, you have to switch to Excel. Just like the other two apps, you get a bunch of templates to choose from when you want to create a new document. You can also navigate to the Open tab and select an existing document from your iPad storage or from your OneDrive. You get access to all the features that are available for text editing, shapes, and formatting as you would on Word and PowerPoint, but on Excel, you have access to some advanced formula and table features as well. Compared to PC version of Excel, this version offers a much more user-friendly approach to formulas in Excel, which are categorized for easy access under the Formula tab. You can tap on each category to pull up a list of all the formulas under that category. If you want more information about a certain item on a list, you can simply tap on the information icon and it will give you a brief description of that formula. Once you have a good set of data collected, you can select that data and insert a graph or a chart to represent that data. You have access to all the customization and formatting options for your chart as you would on the PC version of this application. If you want to, you can also copy a chart from Excel and paste it into PowerPoint presentation or a Word document. Although these three apps have almost all the features of their PC counterparts, but sometimes they feel like they still need some quality of life changes. It might be because these apps are still playing catch up with iPadOS and its mouse and keyboard support. For instance, you can hold Shift and use arrow keys to select multiple cells in Excel, but you cannot do the same by holding Shift and clicking the range of cells you want to get selected. Similarly, when you write a formula in Excel, you cannot navigate to the cells you want to reference with the keyboard alone. You would need to either type the cell name or tap on the cell you want to reference. When you want to copy a certain formula on multiple cells, you have to first select the cell that contains the formula, select Fill as an option from the menu that shows up, and then you can select the range you want to copy the formula to. In my opinion at least, Excel suffers most from these annoyances, but PowerPoint and Word are a lot more usable. OneNote and Outlook are also available for iPadOS. OneNote is definitely an integral part of Office 365 and might just be the best cross-platform note-taking application that supports handwriting input and is available on iPadOS, iOS, Windows, and even Android. Despite being completely free to use, you have a great set of features available to you. You can create multiple notebooks that are synced between devices using OneDrive. In those notebooks, you can create sections, and in those sections, you can create pages, and in those pages, you can create sub-pages to keep your work organized. This app allows you to create custom templates based on a specific section. So if you have a section for meeting notes, for instance, you can create a template with prompts for attendees, topics to be discussed, and action items. From then on, whenever you create a new page in the meeting notes section, your page will already have the prompts ready for you to fill in. Other than using templates for meeting notes, I use template for my daily journal, for which I use a custom image as my background, which is also an amazing feature of OneNote. OneNote also offers support for Apple Pencil, which means you can take handwritten notes, which are also indexed using handwriting recognition. That means you can search for your handwritten notes from the universal search options available on OneNote. If all that didn't impress you already, you can also insert data in various formats, including equations, images, PDF files, audio files, websites, and even calendar data. There is also a research tool which allows you to search for topics and insert relevant information back to your notes inside the same application itself. To add to the wow factor, it can create a citation for the web page you are using with just one tap. To be honest, there are so many features in this application that I could create a video dedicated to describing OneNote for iOS itself. Let's talk about Outlook, another extremely important aspect of Office 365, but it is available for free on iPadOS. If you ask me, this is probably the best email client for iPadOS and iOS. Obviously, you can do majority of the things that an email client does, such as adding multiple accounts, manage your emails, separate out the spam emails from the important ones, and so on. Other than that, I would like to point out that there is no shortcut support for Outlook. You can't even schedule emails to be sent out at a later date. You cannot drag and drop to attach a file in your emails, but I still think this is the best email client. For starters, there's a calendar section in this application that syncs with the email accounts you have added. So you have one application with all your email accounts and all your calendar related information available in one place. Then there's the file section of this email client. Here you will notice if you have a Gmail account synced to Outlook, you also have access to your Google Drive from Outlook itself. which means you can attach those files as attachments and emails being sent out from Outlook. Since there is cross-compatibility between accounts, you can also send your Google Drive files as attachments from your Outlook.com email ID. This is also true for any attachments you receive in your emails. All the files that you received as attachments will be available for you to attach when you're creating a new email, irrespective of what email account you choose to send the email from. This cross-compatibility has made my life so much easier when it comes to file sharing and file management that I think despite all its flaws, Outlook is the best email client on iPadOS.
Alright, now, the last video that I'm going to be showing all of you is actually on using Google G Suite on the iPad. Now, the Google G Suite itself is a collection of applications that you can run on the iPad. Alright, you can download these apps, for instance, Google Docs, Google Drive, you also have Google Sheets, so on and so forth. But in this video, you can actually use the web browser called Safari to run everything directly from the iPad. And it's actually much better than just downloading and having the apps. So let's take a look at this particular video, all right, and understand what is it that Google G Suite can be offered on the iPad as well. All right, now the video will talk about the iPad Pro in particular, but the functions are quite similar between the Pro and the iPad 8th generation that you are receiving.
Alright everybody, so the first thing that I do want you guys to do is to actually delete any Google Drive or G Suite related applications. So get rid of Sheets, Slides, Google Docs, get rid of those dedicated applications that you can download off the App Store, because the way I'm going to show you how to use Google Drive is through Safari actually. Because Safari is a desktop class browser, the experience is a lot better using G Suite on Safari than it is with dedicated applications. And if you were to try to open up a brand new sheet or Google Doc or something like that through Safari, it'll then default you and then open up the regular application on its own, which is something that we don't want, because the dedicated application is a very watered down version of what you want when it comes to Google Docs and the whole G Suite situation. So again, I'm going to show you guys how to use Google Docs through Safari, and it's very, very simple. Just like anything else, you know, go into your Google Drive. So type in Google Drive into Safari. So now we're in our drive, and it's as simple as anything else, right? You press new, you open up, let's start off with a Google Doc. You open up Google Docs, which is right here. The typing experience is exactly the same, if not better, especially with this magic keyboard that I'm using for the iPad Pro. So, hey, my name is Fernando. Don't forget to sub to the channel and enter the giveaway. So you can see that Google Docs works as a normal word processor. It's very basic. Just to go over the toolbar and see what you get all of your editing features on the top. You can go to the toolbar, you have all the different files, so you can share it, make a new one, make a copy, download it to your iPad, move it around, move to trash, print it out even from your iPad. You can edit things normally. You have the view section, you can change the mode, so if you are sharing this document with somebody else, you can tell them like, hey, you have full access to it. You can only do suggestions, or you can only view. You can insert images, tables, right? I can insert whatever I want. Let's do one live right now. So insert a table. You can insert different types of charts, and you can even pull them from Sheets, which is awesome. You know, add equations, headers, footers. You can do all the normal formatting that comes with any word processor. Some of the tools that you have on here, as you can see, spelling and grammar, normal word count. So Google Docs essentially does work as a word processor, and a very, very normal one. And like I said, you can download it as a different file format when you're done too, which is an awesome thing to have here, especially if you're dealing with somebody who uses Microsoft and is on the Windows side, right? And then the last thing that I did want to show you guys is to make sure that we can actually get two of these open at the same time. So ideally, since it is a desktop class browser, you can just pull this out, move it over, and then all of a sudden you have two different Google Docs working that you can use together. And again, these things work hand in hand. So if I do want to bring something from over here, press copy, move it over, and boom, it moves over to what you need it to do. So it does work with multitasking. You can have two different Google Docs open at the same time. Because again, we ran into the issue with Microsoft Word, or with Microsoft Excel at least, that you can't have two Excel files open at the same time, at least not through the applications, right? All right, so let's continue on with all the different Google Drive applications that we have. So let's open up a Google Slides, right? Google Slides is actually really, really nice. I like it a lot. If you guys can see this little bottom suggestion, so this is what I was talking about in the beginning. If you don't have these apps deleted from the iPad itself, this will automatically default and then get you out of Safari and open up the slides application, which is something that we don't want. So I always press not interested because I don't want to download those apps. But this is slides in a nutshell, guys. You have the different themes over here on the right hand side. And if you guys can hear, I am using my MX Anywhere S2 mouse. And I'm scrolling with it. And then now I'm scrolling with the actual trackpad. So it does work fluidly with both of the different peripherals. Let's add one of these. This used to be one of my favorite ones. So it works just like it would any other slides or any other PowerPoint application, right? So anything that you would do on PowerPoint, you can do on Sheets, and it works amazingly well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So these are just things that I wanted to show you guys. So you can add, change the layout on each different one. For instance, if I wanted to add a new one, because I wanted a new slide, it's right there. And I just want to take you guys through the different options that you have up top, right? You have the normal toolbar right here to add images, text boxes, lines, add a background, add some comments, change the layout on the fly, change the theme on the fly, add transitions. And then the rest of the actual toolbar is pretty similar, right? You can add motion, grid view, zoom. You can, like I said, insert audio, video, tables, shapes, charts that you can again pull from Sheets. Classic word art is in there. You can format it the way you want to. Add, move slides around, add transitions. So all the tools that you need to make an awesome presentation are here, which I really, really like. And then if I do want to present it, I just press present and it takes me right into present mode, just like I would with any other presentation. I'm using the arrow keys to move around. You do have a pointer right here if I want to click that on, and you can see that the pointer is going live. And you can even use the Apple Pencil. You can even use the Apple Pencil, I believe, which is awesome to see. So I'm using the Apple Pencil to use that little red line pointer. But that is Google Slides in a nutshell again. Everything saves automatically. You're in the cloud, so you never have to worry about losing any data. And also keep in mind that Google Drive is totally free. There's no paid subscription for it. And again, if we do want to open up a secondary one, I don't know why you would have two open at the same time for Google Slides, but you easily can. Just move it over. And voila, you have two Google Slides that you can resize however you want. Move stuff around, move data around. That's amazing. So if we get rid of this one now, and now let's open up the one that everybody always talks about, and that is Google Sheets, or just Excel in general, guys. So this is what we're working with when it comes to Google Sheets. Very familiar. All the different types of actions and words, hotkeys, all those work. So for instance, if I'm just writing down different numbers, right? I'm pressing the number, pressing enter, and it's moving down. Pressing a number, pressing enter, and it's going down. And then here, let's do a little equation. So the sum of this, and now I'm using the mouse, clicking on here, holding shift, going down, which works well. Then again, closing the parentheses, pressing enter, and you can see that now I have a dynamic field in here. Let's add a little bottom bar to make it look like an equation, and there you have it. And again, it's dynamic, so if I change this number to 500 or 5,000, this number also changes. So if we go through all the different formatting features here, it's all up here like it would be normally. You can change the decimal spots, you can format it to currency, format it to a percentage, change the font, obviously, all those good things, add your borders, add paint to the cells, move everything around in terms of alignment. So you guys just saw that I moved that over. So if I go into the different pieces of the rest of the toolbar, if you go into view, you get to see all the different things that you need to see. Insert, if I want to insert a nice little chart, you can see that the chart, it took the data from right here, basically just added it all up and added a bar graph right there. If I want to add a different type of chart, I just right click, which is awesome now because we do have full mouse support. I can change the chart style from right in here, move it around, enlargen it, do whatever I need to do to make that chart look how I want it to look. So if I continue along with the toolbar, you can add anything you need to, add different functions. And then you go into formatting. Formatting is pretty self-explanatory. They have new themes now that you can do. So for instance, I can change it up, change the color of everything. You guys can see that it's kind of changing color a little bit. So it's adding themes like slides did. And then when you move into data, this is what everybody's kind of been dealing with when it comes to Excel on the actual iPad Pro. Because Excel doesn't use pivot tables and macros, especially not the Excel version or the Excel application version. But with Google Sheets, you have that right here through the web portal. So if I get out of here, go through my data, you can add pivot tables, guys. Again, I don't know much about pivot tables. I don't know what they do and what they're used for, but you can use them. You can add a new one, you can add an existing one. And then if I continue to go to data, you can see that there's a bunch of more options. Filter views, slicer, which is something I don't even know about, data validation, and the list goes on and on. And then tools, guys. So this is where the macros comes into play. Again, if I press record macro, you can see that it's recording a new macro. Use absolute references or use relative references. So you have the two options. If I press this little drop down menu, it disappears, but that's what you have when you're dealing with macros. And again, I don't know what macros are. I should probably do a little bit of research on that and exactly what they're used for and why people need it so bad. That's what we're dealing with when it comes to macros for Google Sheets on the iPad Pro. And then finally, you have add-ons, and you can get add-ons for any of the above applications. You can see right here. Basically, you get add-ons. It takes you to get little, almost like plugins to make it easier to get maybe MLA formatting done quickly and on the fly. You know, better spell checking, better graphs and third-party graphs and things like that. So you can download all these, and they work with Google Docs on the iPad Pro, which is a beautiful thing to see. So for instance, people were talking about citation. You can just go on here, download an MLA formatter, and put it right into the Google Docs add-on list, which goes right here, because I don't have any add-ons, so I don't really play with them. But that is what you're dealing with when it comes to Google G Drive and G Suite on the iPad Pro. And again, the selling points are that it's 100% free. Anybody can just open it up, open up a Gmail account, and get straight to work on one of those. You now have desktop class browsing, so you have full featured and full-fledged Google Docs and Google Drive applications on the iPad Pro, which you can see right here. You have the multitasking, so you have everything you need, guys. And I would probably recommend, unless you're a diehard Microsoft user fan, if you're choosing between the two, go with G Drive. Again, it's free. It works amazingly well on the iPad Pro. Everything saves automatically because it is in the cloud, and I just have no real complaints about it, guys.
All right, students, now I hope with everything that you've seen today, okay, you are as excited as I am on getting ready to use the iPad, especially for your learning purposes. All right, now I've come to the end of my presentation. Teachers, okay, will now launch the iPad device handover slides, okay, and they will guide you along the way to receive, unbox, and set up your devices. Okay, if you have any questions about your new devices, you can approach me, right, with your queries. Okay, and remember that at the end of the device handover, do remove the sticker, okay, that is on your table, the sticker that has the class as well as the register number, all right, that is on your table. Okay, take it out, all right, and make sure you paste it on the iPad box, the packaging box, so that you don't lose your iPad box amongst all the iPad boxes that are around in your classroom right now. Okay, so once again, this is your ICT manager, Mr. Samir. Okay, wishing all of you a good day of learning ahead. Thank you.